Hi, Misha here. And folks, I ask you, I implore you, I beg you, please quit asking for this Swiss SIG. For the love of God. Before I explain what I'm talking about, please do like, share, and subscribe, and definitely check out a lot of my older previous videos on Swiss SIGs. But with that, let me show you which one I'm talking about. To few surprised who've emailed me in, well, the whole year of 2024, this version here. The SIG SG 553P SB, known in the Swiss military as the STGW 07K. And pretty much specifically this version, because for whatever reason, it is the hotness this year. It's what everyone wants. So, what am I talking about? I don't know. These SIGs kind of go through phases more than just about any other gun I've ever noted. I don't know if it's people get on the forums, maybe video games, maybe in a movie, but I've seen phases. Ironically, this was once the most common version. In fact, it was the only brand new import we had. Way back when Mike, Colorado Gun Sales, M+M is the import name, finally started importing new Swiss SIGs, you only got the 553 SB. The very first ones had a 10-inch barrel heavy, but very soon they brought that down to the correct 8.9 and they would thread them, and you had your choice of diopter sights or Picatinny rail. And yeah, obviously people wanted them, but they wanted other versions. You know, after the initial hype wore off, they wanted the 553 LB, the 551, the carbine, and what they really wanted was the 550, the PE90. In fact, that was the big push. When JDI started importing, around 2016, the first guns they brought over were the 551 SB, the short barrel. People bought them, people were interested, but they really wanted the 551 LB because you didn't have to worry about SBR stuff. Perfectly logical. But what they really wanted were the 550 PE90s. Then it kind of swung around. After we got the 553 LB, we got the 751. It seems like, to my mind, the next thing everyone wanted, there was a couple of small batches of 552s, the so-called commando. People really wanted those. The big batch of over 50 pieces, built from original 90s production parts, sold quite quickly. That came in right before the pandemic. And then there was a much smaller batch of around 10-12 pieces that came in with diopter sights. The first batch were pick rail. People clamored for those. And with under 70 in the country, what do you do? But it seems like after that died down, this was the next thing. Specifically, this version here that I'm holding. By that I mean we have that 8.9-inch barrel, and what's really important to people is that this is a two-piece barrel. The muzzle device is removable. Now we've had two different thread patterns over the years. We've had the original 14x1, and we've had the newer 1/2x28. This is 1/2x28. This batch also came in with the 4-way gas regulator set up for use with a sound suppressor. Those are features people really seem to be wanting right now. Of course, you have the short subcompact gas system, except standard mags. Steel lower. That seems to be in preference, although more have said they would settle for an alloy lower if they had to, then the barrel seems the critical. And the same with the sights. This is a little unique for this batch. We have both the short pick rail and the adapters. In the past, it's usually been an either or. There have been a batch or two together, but pretty uncommon. Of course, these feed from standard mags, and they have a end plate that you can pop off quite easily, and you can put on an arm brace adapter or a shoulder stock if you want to SBR, or heck, if you're in a state where that's not really possible, either one, you could put on a stock only after permanently attaching an extended muzzle device, say a faux suppressor, for example. Just hopefully it doesn't go flying off. But why are folks wanting these? And why am I saying please quit asking? I'm going to do a little speculating on the first. One, I believe they are wanting to use them with the suppressor. Sound suppressors for .223 and other rifle calibers are much more popular today than they were 20, even 10 years ago. And I think a lot of folks do like the gray-green look, very Swiss Army. And it does seem like PDWs or PCCs are kind of in vogue right now in general, even if this isn't a pistol caliber carbine. It's that kind of same spirit. And I have to think there has been some kind of communal interest brought up, because that's the wave this year. People are specifically wanting this gun. And if I say, hey, I don't have a 5.53 SB, but I've got a 5.53 LB, or I've got a 5.51 SB, that's not really what they're wanting. I get it. These guns are not cheap. Buy what you really, really want. I agree. Most of the time. However, this gets into the please quit asking. With this exact batch, this exact configuration, with the double style optics and everything, 20 pieces came in. 20. Guys, I had more than 20 people ask me alone for this gun, and they were already sold out weeks before via pre-order. And that's not that I got 20. No. JDI Sand Imports brought in 20, and it took months to do. There's just not enough to go around. The interest is just way up. And folks will say, well, I thought you might have one. I get it. Never hurts to ask. Absolutely doesn't. And I do apologize if I maybe come off as a bit exasperated when folks ask me now. But when you answer the same question, I've even said in previous videos, these are gone. Yeah, so I thought maybe doing this video would help. And I wish we had more. If possible, Sand Imports would love to bring over a couple of hundred of these. But when you wait 6 months for Switzerland to make 20, think how long it would take to make 200, even if they could or would. Especially the adapters. That's a really short supply part. They're just spoken for. And even if I had a couple squirreled away, you aren't the first to ask, or the second, or the 10th. Even if I had one squirreled away, someone already beat you to it. But it's not the only option. The PE90, there's a batch of those coming in, hopefully before the end of this year. The bipod is kind of nice on those, and you certainly get some good range with the nearly 21-inch barrel. Very good sight radius. We even had that one special American version called the DMR, or DMP, the dump for designated marksman pistol, that were set up to be suppressor ready with a threaded barrel. Very first time I believe they've done that configuration. That's an option. But as I've said on record, the 5.51, in terms of just shootability, fun factor, That's my favorite. And in fact, the most recent batch of 5.51 long barrels were also suppressor ready. For the first time ever, they came in with a 2-piece barrel, a removable muzzle device. So guys, please quit asking. I don't have any more of these, and Dave doesn't have any either, and more importantly, no more are scheduled to come in this year. The next guns will be 7.51s, PE90s, a couple of other random things. And the truth is, even if another batch comes in, they'll be sold out by pre-order before anything. That's what it is. I'm sorry. Again, in a perfect world, there'd be enough to meet the demand. You know, the thing is, people criticize these for their price. They're expensive. They were expensive in the 80s. You adjust for inflation, God, they're really about the same money now, guys. But the fact is, there are more people wanting these than guns that come in the country. So, what's that tell you? That's second. But yeah, no more are scheduled to come in this year. Who knows when more will. I'm sorry. But yeah, please quit asking. Because everyone else has beat you to the punch. And for whatever reason, this is the Swiss SIG of 2024. Not saying you're wrong. Cool ass gun. Really is. But it's kind of how collecting imports goes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you're a day late and $1 short. Trust me, I am myself a lot of times too late. I'm not one of those guys. For one thing, I don't even have a smartphone. So I'm not one of those guys that can sit on there and snipe stuff as soon as it pops up. What do you do? But I would say, if you want a Swiss gun, you can't find a 5.53 SB, don't toss other versions out of hand. Each one kind of has something to recommend it, in my opinion. But let me know what you think. If you own one, what you think. Did you have to settle? Did you end up being happy or sad about that? Let me know. And as I said at the beginning, check out some of our other older Swiss videos. We've covered them all, pretty much. So with that, this is Misha. If you could, like, share, subscribe. Check us out on Patreon. And as soon as it quits raining, we'll get back out and get more range time for you. Thank you very much.